Welcome back to the Gentleman's Gazette. In today's video I'll discuss 20 things I wholeheartedly regret buying. Buyer's remorse is a thing that happens to all of us, and today I just wanted to share the things that I learned over the years and what I regretted spending money on. As I shared before in my lessons from being broke, I didn't have much money growing up, but that continued until my 20s. Because of that, I learned to be really frugal, to look for deals, and identify quality, especially on used goods, so I could get the best value for my money. That being said, I still have regrets about many of them, and here are some that I want to share with you. The first item I regret buying is a cartridge razor system, more specifically the Gillette Mach 3. It's what my dad used and what he taught me how to shave with, and so I just continued using it. Once during an internship in Hungary in 2006, I bought a package of it, and it turned out to be fake Mach 3s, and they were quite expensive, and my face looked like a mess after I shaved with it. Over the years, I probably spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on Gillette products. I got a mediocre shave until I discovered the double-edged razor. Now, to learn more about shaving mistakes, please check out the 9 biggest shaving mistake video here, and of course, check out our shaving guide. The second thing I really regret buying was a bike rack for the car. And we probably used it 3 times and never thereafter because we just bike locally, and so I sold it at a garage sale at a big loss. The third thing I regret buying was a Hawaiian jacket that I bought in 2006 at Macy's. When walking through, they had all these deals, and I wasn't accustomed to retailers having stuff 80 or 90% off. So I was tempted, and there was this polo jacket. It had a light background and flowery big paisleys. Now I think at the time it was marked down 90 or 95%, and I just bought it for 40 bucks or whatever, but I wore it a whopping 0 times. So the cost per wear is indefinitely high. Eventually my wife made me throw it away, and I just cut off the mother of pearl buttons, which I still have to this day. Number 4, a Bosch microwave. In 2012, my wife and I bought a condo, and we had the kitchen remodeled, and we had that nice Bosch oven, and we got a matching Bosch microwave. Now I know that they're likely not the manufacturer of it, it's just private labeled. Nevertheless, we still paid $800 or $900 for the thing, and it broke down and was complete garbage 2 days after the warranty expired. From that day on, I swore never to buy a Bosch microwave ever again. The fifth thing I regret buying is a white suit with a Mao collar and 4 or 5 front closing buttons. It was in 2002, it was for my high school graduation. I wanted to be different, and I thought there was this cool suit on eBay that I bought probably for $100, and I wore it in combination with a black belt and black shoes and a white shirt. I think it even had a wing collar, but I don't think it had a tie on. But check out the picture here. It looked horrible, the pants were puddling. But hey, that's how I got interested in menswear, and it just got better thereafter. Looking back, it was a pretty pathetic look, but hey, I stood out from the crowd. The sixth thing I regret buying are cashmere socks. The first time I touched them, I thought, wow, this is amazing. It was super soft, and it cost over $100. Eventually, I realized because they were so smooth, they were also more prone to slip down my calves, and so they would always hang around my ankles. Especially when I wore them with boots, they would go all the way into the boot, and so it was just a pain. Moreover, they got holes very easily, and so I just had to throw them away after like 6 months. Don't get me wrong, I like cashmere for sweaters, for scarves, and other stuff, but for socks, I've never found a combination, even with blends, that has the same characteristics of, let's say, cotton or wool. Also, I found cashmere was just not as absorbent. It was worn though, it was just a weird sock. Number 7, in that same vein goes one-size-fits-it-all socks. Before I could afford cashmere socks, I had these one-size-fits-it-all socks, sometimes from Polo because I liked their patterns, but they had nylon and polyester and spandex, and they were sometimes quite tight around my calves. And so at the end of the day, I would take them off, and I would have these huge, strong marks in my skin, and it sometimes hurt because it just didn't fit my foot right. I really regret buying them, but without them, I may not have come to appreciate over-the-calf socks as quickly as I did, and probably in a small part because of that too, we only sell over-the-calf socks in our Fort Belvedere shop today. The 8th thing I regret buying is any kind of Steadicam equipment. Now, when you film and you walk outside, for example, it's very easy to get shaky video footage, and no one likes that. So back in the day, you could buy what was called a Steadicam, which had weights that helped you balance so you had a more smoother picture. Now, it takes a bit of practice to use, and it's quite heavy, so I think I bought 3 different Steadicams, and we used exactly 0 of them for any video shoot. So it was all a complete waste of money. Fortunately, the market advanced, and now you can find gimbals that are 3-way or 4-way stabilized with engines, and it's a lot easier to film, and anyone can do it, even though they never had something in their hand before. The 9th thing I regret buying is this very green duffel coat I'm wearing here right now. I thought it was kind of cool to have a different color. It was bolder. I didn't have a duffel coat with a hood, so I thought, why not get one? But so far, I've worn it 0 times. Maybe this winter, who knows? Well, I doubt it. The 10th thing I regret spending money on is my college education. I went to law school in Germany and US. Overall, it cost a lot of money, and I never worked in law for a single day in my life because it sucks and I hate it. That being said, I met my wife during a law school exchange program in 2006, so without having gone to a law school, I would not have met her. So I'm glad I went there, but without that, law school was a big fail for me. Number 11, RIMOWA suitcases. As you may know, I'm originally from Germany, and RIMOWA is a luxury suitcase brand that's particularly popular in the US and in China. So I thought, well, let's give it a try and buy some of them. I met Teresa, my wife, at a Halloween party in 2006, but I didn't move to the US until 2009. So those 3 years, I traveled quite a bit, and I bought a RIMOWA suitcase. Sure enough, after the first trip, it was broken. It was a polycarbonate suitcase because I wanted it to be lightweight, so I could bring a lot back and forth. So I returned to RIMOWA. They had some issues in production. They gave me a new case. The same thing happened again, this time after the second trip. So I gave it one more chance, got another suitcase, it broke again, and from that point on, I said to myself, RIMOWA no more. So what did I do? I gave SAMSONITE a try, and sure enough, they've been good companions ever since. No, this video is not sponsored. This was honestly just my experience. The 12th thing I regret buying are crew neck sweaters. Especially in high school, that's pretty much all I knew and there was. And the problem with them is they're usually so tight that if you wear a shirt or a tie underneath of them, it just covers up everything and it's completely pointless. For that reason, I much prefer V-neck sweaters. The 13th thing I regret buying are short-sleeved dress shirts. When I was a teenager, I thought it was cool to have them, but ultimately, it's just a bad investment because you can't wear them with a tie and they have the more formal button front blanket. So instead, you're better off with a polo shirt or a long sleeve dress shirt where you can roll up your sleeves in case it gets hot. The 14th thing I regret spending money on was an all-inclusive trip to China. In 2015, my wife Teresa joined the Gentleman's Gazette full-time, and to celebrate and commemorate that, we're going on a long round-the-world trip in 105 days. When we were in Europe, we thought it was cool to go to China, and so we booked a 2-week all-inclusive trip, and we had 2 options. One was the regular one, and one was the deluxe one. Of course, the deluxe cost twice as much, and we thought it wasn't really necessary. Now, when we took the China trip, it was memorable in many ways, including the fact that a granny tried to climb over me in the airplane. Now, apart from that, the hotels that company chose were really bad. They were outside of the city center. Oftentimes there were no smoking hotels, but you can find burn spots all over the place, or just a spot where someone threw over their Coke. But hey, they had jeans-flavored condom in their hotel room. Isn't that great? During one of the legs, we had to take an overnight train, and they put us in compartments with a bunch of different people that we just didn't know, which was interesting, but even better were the toilets, because oftentimes in China, they just have a traditional hole, and so in a train, when things move left and right, you can guess that people's aim is not the best, so where does it end up? Well, all over the floor, and it was just a terrible experience. Now, looking back, I wished I had shelled out the money for the deluxe tour, and of course, I don't know if it would have actually been better, but I'm a firm believer that the grass is always greener on the other side. Number 15 is a group of things, specifically bold accessories. I remember once buying a pocket square with a vivid blue and an orange hand-rolled edge. At the time I thought it was cool because I was in New York and I had bought this New York Knicks jacket which was orange and blue, but I ended up wearing this pocket square never again really, so it was just a waste of money. There's a pattern here, the green overcoat, the orange edges, everything that's really strong and bold is something I just didn't end up wearing very much down the line. Why? Well, it's not really versatile and it just makes you stand out from the crowd in a weird way. Also, it's just not as complex. And yes, you can have an orange pocket square. Just look at this silk wool pocket square here that has this medallion in the middle. It's super versatile, I wear it all the time, but it's a subdued orange. It's not this bright orange that says, hey, look at me. Number 16, I regret spending money on online courses. I once spent money on an online course about AdWords, and to this day, neither me nor any of my employees have actually taken it. It's just a complete waste of money. And if I talk to other people who either buy online courses or sell them, they tell me a surprisingly small number of people actually takes the course in full. And maybe just even a quarter of the people even start the course. So when you buy an online course, you're all excited, but then real life kicks in and you just don't finish stuff. Now, why is that? I think it has to do with the lack of coaching. And no, I'm not going to sell you any coaching here, but if you look at all the pro athletes, they all have coaches. It's not because they probably wouldn't know what to do themselves, but you need someone who holds you accountable and you'll just accomplish more that way. I'm in my 30s and I'm just now realizing the true value of mentorship and coaching. The 17th thing I regret buying are ill-fitting gloves that had fingers that were too short. I remember my very first pair of peggery gloves was from a German brand called Röckel. It was really soft and nice, and I tried them on and I thought they were good. Well, the problem was they were way too wide in my hand and the fingers were way too short. So yes, I had this beautiful leather, but ultimately the gloves didn't really fit me. They were flopping around my hand and looked really bad. Now, fortunately, the leather held up, but the best ingredients are not worth it if the fit isn't right. Fortunately now, I have the full range of Fort Belvedere gloves that fit me beautifully and are made of high quality materials. If you want to learn more about quality men's dress gloves, head over to this video here. And of course, we sell them in our shop here. The 18th thing I regret buying is Room&Board furniture. Room&Board is a furniture brand that is local, and because of that, they have an outlet here that's rather popular with millennials. Their style is very mid-century modern, and I remember us going there once and seeing a couch, and we almost had to battle with other people, and we ended up buying it. Once we were at home, we sat on it, and the cushions would always move outside, we would sink in the middle, and it was just a shitty experience. So we put it back on Craigslist, and luckily we could sell it very quickly because it's hot shit. But afterwards, we'd still go to the Room&Board outlet and we'd buy a few things, but eventually we'd always sell them. Today, my wife and I always joke when we're in the area, hey, let's go to the Room&Board outlet because whatever we buy there, we would never keep, and so we're not even going anymore. It's just this running gag between the two of us. The 19th thing I regret buying was a Burberry cashmere scarf. The winter, right after the year when I wore this white suit, I wanted a nice scarf, and so I thought, oh, maybe I get this Burberry cashmere scarf because it had this Nova check pattern. So I got it, and then I realized, oh, this scarf is actually rather short, and the cashmere wasn't as soft as I had hoped for. Now, it helped me to develop our own scarves for Fort Belvedere, and without that experience, I probably wouldn't have thought as much about scarves. But ultimately, it was a huge waste of money because I couldn't really tie it. The only way to wear it was throwing it around my neck in one way, but that wasn't quite warm, and it also kind of blew off when the wind came. Last but not least, the 20th thing I regret spending money on was a dinner at COSME in New York. A few months ago, my wife and I went on a trip, just the two of us, without our daughter, to New York because we wanted to enjoy ourselves, go to shows, go to museums, explore the city, and of course, go to nice restaurants. So there's this list about the 50 best restaurants in the world, and on 23 was COSME in New York. So we went there and had a dinner. Now we had some dishes that were okay, but one dish was listed as a main course, and it was a mole sauce dish. Now I like mole sauce and it's great, but it came out as a main course. It was a small plate of sauce with some corn tortillas and a few sprouts, and that was it. And I was like, are you kidding me? You're selling me a main course that consists of a bit of sauce. Overall, we spent several $100s at this dinner, but left the place very disappointed. Now, I'm not a food snob. I like very simple pea soup or a great sandwich at Kat's Deli. I also spend money on food that is more experimental and creative. At the same time, I feel like I'm often disappointed when I go into these Michelin star restaurants because my expectations are so high and then they're just never met. Now, COSME, though, for being rated number 23 in the world, was just a huge letdown. Now, those were the things I regret buying. Please share in the comments the things that you regret buying and your fails. Today's outfit was all built around the duffel coat I regret having bought. Then I decided, why not make an all-green outfit because I can. So I chose a crewneck sweater because I really don't like crewneck sweaters, but I have them. It's a chartreuse cashmere sweater. It is a green checked shirt. I have a green striped shantung silk tie that you can hardly see, but here you go. It's from Fort Belvedere. It's really nice otherwise, just not in this outfit, and you can find it here. My pants are olive green corduroys, which I don't regret buying. My shoes are very forest greeny suede shoes, Oxfords from Scarosso. And I also like them because especially during the summer, they can add a bit of color to something and they're not too bold in my mind. The socks I'm wearing are a mix of turquoise and purple. They're also from Fort Belvedere and I just wore them because I could.